Before we get into this episode, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. You can hit the notification button so you can get updated weekly on all of our latest content. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, tell us what you want to see next below. This is such an important topic to talk about. I wish more people were like that. I don't have to agree with you, but we can have a conversation.
And we can still be friends.
Yes.
Right? Like, here's the thing. I don't think that we are in a time and a place where you can afford to be ignorant. Like, my point of view is, like, you might have a different political disposition. You might have fundamental beliefs that are different from mine, but I will hear you out because I need to be wise about everything, right? I don't get to serve customers on like one side of the aisle or the others. So I need to have a really broad perspective. And I don't imagine that I know everything or that I've learned everything or that I'm always right. And so for me, it's just like in that way of like, you've got to always be learning, like for your business and for yourself. It's just like another way of thinking about like, how am I growing as a person? How's my perspective growing? And also, how do you meet people? Because at the end of the day, like we have to, as humans, right? Like we have to be able to do shit together in order for like us to all move forward. And so for me, I'm just constantly thinking about like where and how do you meet people?
I also think you have to give people grace for the space to change their mind. Like there's this thing that just because you said something 2 years ago that you have to stick by that thing, that you might have evolved as a person and changed your opinion. And we have to be able to have conversation around that is important. I mean, if you're at a dinner party and I agree with everything you're saying, I'm bored as hell.
Yeah. Well, even doing this show for as long as we've done like close to 1,000 of these. Do you know how bored I would be if I was talking to somebody that's all the time that just agreed with every single position
That's why
I
you're
held?
married to a Gemini.
Ah,
but I mean,
there you go.
It would be unsustainable. I think that's why people get burnt out.
Well, and also that's why you can have someone like me back however many years after, right? Because it's like we evolve. If we're not growing, like we die. And so I don't know. I grew up in England where I think that there's a lot more tolerance for people having different opinions. And I certainly wasn't raised in a way that, you know, is passive. Like I've always been raised to like share my opinion, have an opinion, have a thought about something. But I don't think that means that we can't have respect for one another. Like I respect my first position is that I respect you. I respect that you've got an opinion that matters. And if I don't agree with you, I can still learn something from you. Like it's really simple, like stuff.
You have a really strong confidence. You elude confidence. What do you think that your parents did really right with you? Because as I'm raising my own kids, and confidence and resourcefulness are my two things. And I want to know how your parents got you to be this like confident woman. There's something that they did that's like a magic formula, I feel like.
Maybe it could have been a magic formula or like, you know, the practicalities of a household with a single mum, right? It's like I'm one of 4 girls, single mum. And so there was an element of just like, figure it out. There's no one was going to make me dinner. No one was going to, you know, make my bed for me. We just had to do stuff ourselves. And so there's some of that resourcefulness that just comes like as you grow up and like not everything's done for you. If you need something, you're going to have to go and do it, which means you're going to have to figure out how to get something done. But I do feel like there were some things that my mum says that kind of still ring in my head and I talk about it all the time. But this idea of you're not better than anyone, but nor is anyone better than you. And I do feel it's something that I teach my kids, but I really believed it. Like, you know, my mum was like my queen as I grew up. And so for me, I just think I really believed every single thing that she told me. And I took that to heart. I was like, I'm as good as anyone else. I deserve as much as anyone else. And so long as I work for it, I'm going to, you know, it will work out for me. So
how are you instilling that confidence in your own children?
You know, I don't know that I think about it as instilling confidence. What I try to do is create a space where all of my kids can be whoever they are and that be fine in our house, right? Because when you have 4, what you notice, first of all, is like my kids are very different from me. They're very different from my husband. They are their own people. And as much as I'd love to like impose certain parts of my personality on them, they live in a very different reality. They're not growing up poor. They're not growing up wanting for much. They're not going to have that same sense of drive. And so what I'm trying to teach them is like, just be excellent at something, care about something. I don't really care what it is. I don't mind if it's a sport, if you want to be the best like puzzler in the world, if you want to just be great at climbing, if you just want to be whatever you want to be, just be good at something and apply yourself to something. And so that's really what I am like instilling in my kids is this sense of like, take some responsibility for your own growth, for your own learning. Now, my kids are really little, but it kind of manifests itself every day because I'm not trying to figure it out for my kids. I don't think that is my job as a parent. My job is to love them. My job is to look after them and keep them out of harm's way. But I also believe there's a certain amount of like responsibility that they should learn for themselves. And I think that I do that by going out and making the best of myself every day. They get to see that. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I can do to impact the way they think about themselves.
One of the strangest things, it's not strange, but one of the like biggest mind fucks that I had when I had children is how different they actually are from us individually.
Yeah.
I feel like
And
there's a hint of narcissism there.
No,
Like they're not
of
like
course.
me.
There's always just a little hint.
You're projecting your
kids would
personality.
be like you, right? I
He
imagine my
would,
kids would.
But
I do.
also how different they are from each other. Because you would think that
Yes.
they'd also be similar.
They are
but like,
different.
you know, our son will go out and like he will be taken by a stranger if you let him. He's like, hi, everyone. Our daughter's a little bit more reserved. Lauren came out of the womb tap dancing. You know what I mean? Like it's like our daughter's like, hey, I got to figure out who you are before I show you my full personality. So it's just weird to go through that, and you realize you kind of have to step back and not force your own personality or your own self onto them, so that they can actually be who they are.
Or your own experiences, right? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to raise my kids as apologists for what we have. And I think there's a certain experience when you grow up like really poor, like I'm like, well, how are you going to have any drive? How are we going to make you gritty? Like, how are you going to have the hunger that I had to go out and do anything? And it's like, you know what? I'm not going to impose my experience on them. They will have their own experience. They'll figure out what's important to them. And my job is just to support that. But I'm not trying to hothouse my kids into, you know, like Mandarin lessons because I would have liked to speak Chinese. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
Weren't
like,
you doing that at
that's
one point?
not, absolutely not.
I thought you
Never
told,
ever.
You were not doing that at one point?
No,
I swear
definitely
I could
not.
have, maybe I had a dream about
No,
that.
no,
She's
you may have
busy
had a
doing
dream.
other things, Michael.
Absolutely not. I
Michael,
don't do that.
She's
Can't you-
got a
yeah,
Mandarin. I don't think she's
can't you
done
add,
Mandarin.
can't you add Mandarin to all the other things you're doing?
I wish one day,
You know what? If
maybe.
anyone could do it, it's you. I believe that.
I've got to draw the line somewhere. Like, that's it, right there, the Mandarin.
I have a selfish question. I feel like you're the perfect person to ask. When I am in a mom work mode, like I am today, we're in a hotel right now. I have to leave to go to work. My kids are like, "Don't go to work," and there's like this element of guilt that I have leaving. How do you manage that with 4 children?
Well, I have to be really honest. That happens to me, right? That is definitely an occurrence that happens in my life, and I think pretending that it doesn't does nobody any favors. I just don't feel like I'm an apologist. I'm not in that mode of being like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, guys, this is what I do and this is what makes me happy. And at a certain point, they start to understand that. I'll tell you, like, something was so interesting to me. A couple of months ago, I was going to New York and my daughter said something to me that was like assuming that when I leave and I go on a business trip, that I have a bad time, that I'm like, sad, lonely. She was like, I'm so sorry that you're going there. Like, how many nights? I said, I'll be there for 3 nights. She's like, I'm just so sorry. And I was like, Lo, I have the best time when I'm away. Like, I sleep diagonally. I don't have to worry about waking you lot up. Like, your dad's not there. It's like, honestly, I see my friends in New York. Like, I'm balling out. And she was so confused because I think she thought it was a hardship for me to go. And I was like, no, honey, like, it's amazing. And she was suddenly like, oh, I'm so happy. I have a great time. Like, say hi to Pietro and Renata, like our friends. So it was really interesting because I think if you project that onto your kids, that it's so hard for me to leave you, that it's such a hardship when I go away, they end up thinking that. It's like, no, it's not. I love going to work. I love having those few nights a month where I'm away from everyone and I can just think about me and I can, I don't know, get tweezers and like pluck things out while I watch the TV. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like that doesn't happen to me at home. So I just think it's so much about like, how are you relating to those things? Because your kids will pick up on all of your cues. And my kids know I love work. They know I'm happy to be there. And actually in the school holidays, they're like, can I come to the office with you? I'm like, absolutely, yes, you can. So I don't know, I've just created it that way.
That's so interesting that you say that because I've done the gym that way. So I've been like, I have to go be healthy. Like, being healthy makes me happy. But I've done the opposite on the work. So I've said, Mommy's like so sad she has to go to work, but I have to work because that's how I can afford toys. I think I need to stop apologizing. I think that's really good advice, and start telling them that I love my work because I do. And that'll give them more context.
Of course. And I always like, to me, it's about, well, where do you take that conversation, right? Because your kids will be like, what? But I don't love school. I don't love where I go every single day. How do you love it? And I'm like, well, guess what? I did all of this other stuff that I didn't love to get to the point where I can do something that I do love. And I wonder what that's going to look like for you. So let's think of a bunch of jobs that you would love. So I kind of take the conversation somewhere else because I'm like, there's a learning from that, right? Because let me tell you, like the jobs that I did between 18 and 28 were not jobs that I loved. I went to work because I needed to pay bills. I needed to do whatever I needed to do. So I don't also want to wrap it up and be like, you're going to love what you do straight out of the gate. You work to get to that place. So that's the type of conversation I'm having with them, just like a level of honesty. And I don't think they're ever too young for that. Even with my 3-year-olds, I'm like, I'm going to miss you too. But guess what? You're going to be fine and I'm going to be fine. And a couple of days away from each other is a good thing.
I like that you talk about this because I think there's especially a lot of young people that listen to this show that have been told, chase your passion over and over and over. And then they feel like anytime hard work is met or things that they don't like doing in the workplace come to them, that it's like, it's not their passion. And the way that I think about being an entrepreneur is I eat so much shit all day long and there's so many problems, but because I love the end result of what I'm building, I'm willing to do that. Does that make sense? Or like if you absolutely hate the thing, you're never, but what I tell people, especially younger people that I talk to, I'm like, it's called work for a reason.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to love every single component of it. And if you turn your passion into a business, it is now a business and it's going to be, like I've had a bunch of friends that
it's not going to be just passion anymore.
Yeah. Now it's like, it's like I have a lot of artsy friends, and artsy is not a good word to describe, but they're like artistic people and they take that art and they turn it into a business and all of a sudden they start hating the art.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, it's, you have to understand like the end result is you get to take your art and build a lifestyle around it and a business around it. But anytime you take anything and put a business mechanism around it, it comes with work, struggle.
It comes with work. And listen, we could do a whole podcast just about this subject, right? You employ a lot of people. I employ a lot of people. I think there's a big discussion to be had around work, enjoyment, purpose. I'm of that Scott Galloway mindset that you shouldn't chase a purpose. You should chase what you're good at. You should chase your skills. And hopefully within that, you can find some purpose. But I don't know anyone, and certainly where I came from or come from, you didn't start out trying to be like, what's my purpose? You're like, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to make ends meet? What can I do that has like a tiny bit of interest in it for me? For me, that was like working in clothes shops, right? I was like, I like nice clothes. I can get a discount. Like that's where I started. And I did that in some way thinking I love fashion and I'd love a job in and around that business one day. But in the beginning, that was like being a Saturday girl working at a clothes shop where it was actually just really grueling because you couldn't afford anything that was in the store. And most people that came in were not a joy to like work with. But I would find like where I'm going to be good at something, like where the interesting part of it was for me. But the simple fact is, I think that we've kind of got to this place in culture where there's been a separation between like what is enjoyable and what is work. And for me, I think that some of the best times in my life have come out of situations where I've been at work. If we go back to when I wasn't the boss, right? When I was working in a fashion show production company, the best nights were nights where we'd done something at work, we'd won a new account, or actually we'd lost an account and we all decided to get together and go for a drink. And I think that what's happened is where we've kind of made it up that you can't have fun at work, that somehow your lifestyle and you going to work are completely separate. There's no enjoyment. And I'm like, what are we talking about? You can have the two things, right? We're just at this point where I think there's so much talk about work-life balance. What about work being enjoyable, work being your enjoyment? And I just feel like the two things can be true at once. You can go somewhere and it can be maybe not your be all and end all, but you have to make the most of it. And I just feel like any entrepreneur I know, anyone who's been successful has had a bunch of jobs that they found either hugely unenjoyable or not that valuable to them, and you have to find a way to make them something for you, because there's absolutely no way that you're just going to get up and find like this purpose in work and make a ton of money and find the ideal job before you've gone through those like things that are not so great.
Yeah,
If you're clever enough too, and obviously you are, you take the job that you don't like and you find the thread that you do like and you bring it to the next job, and then you find another thread and you bring it to the next job, and before you know it, you have a collection of threads and you can get clever to make your own job up.
A
Which is what
million
you've done.
percent.
But I think that advice, especially for me, like as a young guy, it screwed me up a lot because whenever you were met with some of that resistance in the workplace, I'm like, well, wait a minute, this is supposed to feel like passion and love and something I'm like so excited about all the time. And it kind of derails you because people would ask, they would constantly, what's your passion? What's your thing? I'm like, well, at the time I did not know.
No,
Now,
I don't think who knows? Passion is not something that you can make up, right? I feel like you find your passion. You don't decide what your passion is and then like go after it. Certainly that's not been my experience. It's like the passion came through doing the work. The passion came through actually doing all of these jobs that I found massively unenjoyable or I wasn't good at or I just think sucked and they didn't pay very well. And then I found what it was that I was good at and made that something that I could, have passion for. I just think we've got the whole thing like messed up. You're going to need to work really, 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 really hard if you want to be successful. There's no substitute for that.
How do you deal with employees that don't want to work hard or don't have that ethos? Because as a huge team, and I know there's many employees that do, and I know there's many team members that are incredible. I have an incredible team with Skinny Confidential, but you do deal with some people that don't want to work that hard. How do you do it?
Well, I think that we have to be honest about and level set in any organization, right? Not everybody has to be an ambitious little monster. And actually, you need that. You need those people that are very, very comfortable in their job so that the ambitious little monsters can keep moving because you can't promote everyone. You can't keep moving everybody forward at the same pace unless you've got some like gangbusters, business that's like growing like, crazy every single year, which some people have and a lot of us don't have. And so I think that you need both things. Now, listen, I think what's really important is what do you reward and what kind of conditions are you setting up in the culture of where you are, right? I think just to be very honest and level setting with people, I'm in a startup environment for the most part, right? I have businesses that are relatively young and it requires people that come every day with 100% and put everything in and leave nothing on the table. I think I make it quite clear that if you're a 3-day-a-week person, that's totally fine. It just doesn't work here. Yep. It doesn't work for me.
So do you have people come in the office 5 days a week?
Absolutely.
We need to talk off air. Wait,
or we can just talk on air because I think it's a subject that a lot of your listeners, right, post the pandemic, a lot of people got very comfortable with not going to the office. That is fine unless you're deeply ambitious. Because if you're deeply ambitious, and let me tell you what my experience was, and it's not the same for everyone, but my experience was that I had bosses when I was younger that I learned so much from, and I learned from proximity. Right? I was in the meetings, the person taking the notes. I sat in front of my boss and I remember everybody used to say to me, what a nightmare that you sit in front of the boss because she can see when you're online shopping. And I was like, yeah, or I write down every single thing that she says and every new business tactic and, phrase that would come out of her mouth. I'd be like,
and then you get on Shark
Tank. There's a good one. And then I would use them, right? But I'd use them. I used to have to call everyone and I, do like 100 new business calls a day and I would say the shit that she said. So for me, it's like, how are you learning if you're not like in it on the job? Now listen, there's a lot of different types of jobs and we know some jobs need more proximity than others. But I'm in the product business, guys. I make things like physical things, jeans, knickers, bras. If you're not in the room, you're not able to do that at an excellent level. And to be like really, really good and to have the type of hyper growth that we've had in these companies, it requires a sense of urgency. That means that I can't wait until you're in next to do the thing that I need to do that's going to get us to where we need to go. And so, listen, it's fine. It just doesn't work if you're highly ambitious. And for me and the type of companies that I have, we are 5-day-a-week, always on people, and it's not for everyone, and that's fine.
So what would you do if people come to you and they say, this is not a modern work culture, I only want to work 3 days a week? Is that a non-negotiable for you?
Well, I think that there's a lot of different ways that people come to work, and there's always exceptions to every rule because otherwise you're not running a modern business. I have a lot of people that, come back from maternity leave and they have a different idea about the way that they want to come into work. Now, if I want women to be successful in my business, we need to be open to that, because you all know after you have a baby, it takes you a while to come back to life. Like I was still sitting there 9 months after being like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like your head's not there. So we want to create the conditions for ambitious people to be successful. And that might mean at certain points in their career, they need a different setup. But what I'm saying is for the majority, for those starting out, for the most people in the company, we have to be 5 days a week. There are always exceptions to every rule, but it's not like the default. It's not like the first thing that we do.
Yeah, what I tell the people that are closest to me in my life, my sisters, for example, people that are going, I'm like, you don't want to be in a position where you're trying to get the business to conform to like how you want to live your life. The business has to operate as the business operates. And if you plug into that in a way that makes sense for you, great. But if not, then maybe you shouldn't work in that business. But like what we've encountered is like sometimes I'll speak to people close to me and they're like, well, I want to do these things and this and that, but I don't really like doing this. That. I'm like, yeah, but it all needs to be done. Mm-hmm. And if you're the person that's hired for that role, like the business can't say, well, okay, just like kind of pick the things you like and dislike. And that's what I get back to, this whole idea about passion and work. When I was coming up, like whatever was thrown at you is what you're doing. There's no
choice.
There's no choice. And I think that COVID was an interesting experiment. A lot of things got derailed. A lot of, Dr. Drew was on here yesterday and he says we're living in this reality that's like, it's disconnected from reality, where it's like we want to believe the things we want to believe and we want to behave the way we want to behave without any regard to the things that we dislike or that we don't want to be true. Mm-hmm. And because of that, people are now basing their behaviors on what is actually not reality. And it's causing a lot of it's causing a lot of problems for people, because they're like, well, this is the way I want it to be, without acknowledging the way it really is. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.
How do you think about running a team, and are your teams the same teams amongst all your businesses?
No, absolutely not. We run
different teams.
Totally different teams. There is no sharing. So everything is a standalone
how are you like
business.
As an octopus? Are you like, if you have to be in the office, how do you manage 3 teams?
Well, we have.
Is it all same office building or?
Depends. So I have a lot of investments. I have a lot of companies that I am operationally involved in, and I have other companies that I have no operational involvement with. But if we talk about the things where I'm actually operationally involved, yes, they're all in one building. But what I do is I am like the leader, right? It's like I'm the person that has to call the play. I don't need to run out and score every goal myself. And so what I am an expert in is finding the right people and putting together the right teams, because I'm not an expert in every single facet of our business, right? So if, for example, I think of myself as a product person, where I'm good is around planning, merchandising, design, production. That's where I'm brilliant. I'm not brilliant at logistics. I'm not brilliant at running an e-com site. I'm not, an AI specialist. And I think about how that's really like come into our business recently. What I do is bring the right people together so that you've got the best team to meet the goals of the company. And it comes down to this point of just going back to what you were saying earlier, having an enterprise mentality. It's about the company and the company's goals coming first. It's not about me. At the end of the day, what I do, and if you take something like SKIMS is Kim Kardashian's company. That's her vision. That's what she wanted to create. My job is to make sure that actually happens and it comes to fruition. And so I don't think about any of the companies being reliant on one person, certainly not reliant on me. So it's like, if I don't turn up, the companies will still thrive. Some companies will still do what they need to do because they're set up to do that, right? That's their primary function. You should be able to take any one part away and the company is still going to do what the company does.
When you're looking for those people, is there a common personality trait that you're looking for that is shared amongst most of the high performers?
It's so interesting. I hire for attitude over experience because I don't have the experience, and I'm pretty good at what I do. And so I think there are some positions where you need people that have been there, seen it and done it and played an active role in whatever that kind of division or that specific competency is. But there's other times when you just want someone who wants it so bad and so badly wants to be successful that they're going to do whatever they need to do to get it done. And so I'm more about who's a team player, who's somebody that has, vision, like they can really understand, meaning that they can go super deep in what their core competency is, but they have enough understanding of what's happening across the business in different like verticals or different divisions, and they're the type of people that I like. If you're like a sort of like a one-trick pony, you're less useful to me. I need people that can go outside of their core competencies.
My follow-up question was, are there personality traits that you look to avoid?
Well, yes, I think there are. I mean, there's lots of things that are just not for me. Like, I don't like arrogance. I like people that can come to work and be true team players, because what we're doing is so big at this point that there isn't one person or one way of doing things. So you need someone who can come and really have like a thoughtful point of view across a team. But I don't think there are like individual traits that everybody needs to have. You know, ambition is great. Hard work is great. Like competency in a specific area is great, but none of it alone does anything. It comes down to like, what kind of attitude do you have, and how do those people all fit together?
How do you structure your day? I'm sure every day is different, but if you could just give the audience a peek into like all the things you do. Are you in the office by a certain time? Are you in glam every day? Like, what does it look like?
I'm definitely not in glam every day. Okay. I am today, obviously. Definitely not in glam every day. That would be a horrible use of my time. So I try to really like think, I'm a furious organizer and scheduler. I try to make the most of every single thing that I'm doing. So if I'm putting a face full of makeup on, you better know that it's like not for one thing. Like, it can never just be like,
Agreed.
I'm coming here and doing this, but like I can't.
I can just do a little skincare if I have.
Yeah, like, you're like,
I
come
can't
on.
do an office.
No
way.
It can't happen that way.
It's got to be a show for me.
It's a whole shebang-a-lang, you know. And there's 3 things happening. I'm like, great, I'm going to put this glam to use. I am in the office every single day, which I love. But I love to go to the office. It's where I'm most productive. It's what I enjoy. It's like where I'm really like the best version of myself. So
all
to me,
3
it's not,
offices or one office?
Well, it's like, it's one building.
Got it.
I bought a building in Hollywood, so I put everything is in that building.
Amazing.
Yeah,
okay, keep
so
going.
So I go up and down in the elevator.
Amazing.
And you know, it's interesting because I don't have like specific days where I do specific things. So I'm really, to me, what I do and what my skills are completely interchangeable. So I can go from one thing here to another thing there, between Skims to Good American to off season, because at the end of the day, I feel like I just do one thing. My thing is that I have an obsession with customers and doing the best by that customer, depending on what I'm trying to service them, right? Do you know, like that's all I think about every single day.
That's universal across all the businesses.
Yeah, I just feel like it's not different, like one to the other. It's like, how are you making something with unbelievable value, with an unbelievable experience, and getting it to somebody really quickly?
Well, you did make me that pregnancy t-shirt that I ordered 10 of. That pregnancy t-shirt.
I'm very happy about that.
Michael actually was like, you look so good today.
Don't you just?
And it was the shirt.
The shirt is amazing. It's like the perfect length with a little bit of boob compression, and it's just cut so perfectly. It's a great t-shirt. But you know, to do simple things well, like it's not, you know, I do that same thing over and over and over again. But to get back to your question, I'm pretty regimented with my routine, and because I have 4 kids, that's the only way I can do it. So it's like, I'm up in the morning. I'm very, very, very militant about not picking up my phone first thing, because that then takes me off into like some kind of sidetrack. So I'm like, what do I need to do today? What's important to me? And what do I think, before I start getting like messages from the world, from the news, from social? It's like, it's very important to me to be like, what are the most important things before anything or any information kind of stops me?
You're reactive to what everyone else needs on their to-do list if you pick up your phone and you're not being proactive towards what you need. I totally agree.
That.
You have to tell us, though, what time you wake up.
I wake up at 4:45.
Stop!
Yeah.
Come on.
But you know what? I'm an early riser. I would wake up. It's so interesting. So this morning I didn't actually need to get out of my bed until 5:30 because I'm like a little bit sick and I'm not working out. So I said to myself, I will just, you know, stay in the bed. But I wake up at like 4:35 and I'm in the bed, and then it's like, oh, and I've got a cup of coffee at like 4:50. It's just, that's who I am. I'm wired that way. I've always been wired that way. I was a baby that woke up early. I had a paper round when I was 12. I think I'm conditioned to get up early.
Okay, so go on. So you wake up, you don't touch your phone. What else?
Do not touch my phone.
Details.
I work out. So I go down to the gym. I work out in my house. Usually, yeah, it's like the nicest thing in the world. I do like a 90-minute workout 4 or 5 days a week. So before the kids get up.
That's a long workout.
Yeah, I have to do.
Whoa.
So it's that I have, because the hour, I'm old now, and I've figured out where all my injuries were coming from. No, because I lift weights, and if I don't warm up properly, and then I try and do a deadlift, and I'm now deadlifting just over my own weight, my back will go. And so my trainer, who's maybe just a great salesman, was like, listen, if we just spend longer warming up, you won't get injured. And it worked.
So you're doing
that's what
it's
I'm
a
doing.
long warm up.
Yeah, so it's a long warm up,
Okay.
and then I'm like, 60 minutes of like really, but I'm stretching and I'm working on that like mum back and the posture and doing all the longevity things. So it's like I'm really making sure that the workout is good and complete. But also that's my like meditation time. Do you know what I mean? It's the only time no one's asking anything of me. I'm in my own space. There's nobody up. And then by the time I'm finished, it's like, boom, like it's happening. So I'm like in the shower, the kids are getting up, there'll be a number of children in my room, I'm doing somebody's hair, then I go down, I try to like get everyone at the breakfast table at 7:30 so that we can have like a 20 minutes together before everybody goes out the door.
It's probably where you get your best ideas too during that workout.
Yeah, a lot comes to me. So it's like the gym, then I'm doing breakfast time, and I do think that like bit of family time in the morning, because I don't see my kids all day, right? It's like then I'm not going to get home until 5:30. So I try to have that little bit of time in the morning where everybody's at the table. It's not like a civilized moment. It's just that everybody's smushed.
Sure.
Like they're there, they're having their thing. We all go out of the door. I'm usually in the office by 8:30. I do meetings back to back to back to back all day. Most of my meetings are like capped at 45 minutes because I just feel like people just would love things to go on for longer. And my day is like usually a series of problems. That's how I think about my day. Nobody comes to me and they're like, everything's working out amazing and we're selling like pow, pow, pow. It's like, this shit happened.
Yeah.
This is going wrong. Oh my God. And I'm like, okay. So I do that all day and I'm like, like this. And then I go home and, I do the thing with the kids. So it's like, we have dinner together. I do bath time. I do bedtime. I'd say 2 or 3 nights a week I go out. So once the kids go to bed, I might have a business dinner or dinner with friends, whatever it is. And I will work. Like I go back on my email 4 days out of 5, I would imagine. I do some emails. I go to bed. I'm like, again, regimented about the routine. I do a little meditation. I read before I go to bed. Then I go to
You're a
sleep
big
and start
reader.
again.
What are you
Big reader.
meditating with, and what are you reading right now?
Okay, so I just did a course in transcendental meditation.
That's cool.
It was so cool,
Yeah.
but so not something that I can fully say I'm living up to right now, because 40 minutes meditation a day, you're supposed to be 20 in the morning and then 20 in the late afternoon. I only get the 20.
Can you have it stack that with something?
I
mean,
don't know,
one of them
stack
you
it
could
up.
have sex.
I mean,
The other
like,
one just later.
maybe, like,
Put
I don't
a
know.
red
Let
light
me
mask
know.
over something. Like, you got to be able to have it stack that.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but does it, like, would it feel as like meaningful with the
No.
with the light? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
even like I bought this little glass timer that's 20 minutes, and because I'm really good, like I have that sense of like timing, I like open my eye and it'll be just at the end of it. But even that, I'm like, is that ruining my meditation because I have a timer there? I don't know.
think so.
I don't
feel
know.
That's grounding.
But I'm trying very hard to put the meditation in my life as a habit, because I'm 100% sure that I got it all wrong about meditation. And it's not about like quiet in the mind. I think it's about re-energizing myself. What usually happens to me after the meditation is that I get all these ideas and I've just given like this burst of energy. And so it's like I'm going to have to put it in. I probably get there like 4 days a week, and I want it to be a 7-day-a-week
No,
habit.
but you know,
I
like, a lot of-
totally agree with you about meditation. I think more people need to hear that. To me, I look at it as a strategy session with myself.
Oh, I love that.
And if you don't have any space to be quiet, how do you even hear your own thoughts?
No, it's really hard. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
I wish more people knew that about meditation. It's not necessarily, and this is my take on it, it's not just being quiet and clearing your head. It is about re-energizing and having new ideas and clarity.
It has to be about re-energizing, because the only thing that I need to get done what I'm doing is energy. It's not about time. It isn't about, how many hours I spend in the office or how much time I can get away from my kids. It's the energy to do whatever that next thing is. And so if meditation gives me energy, then that becomes the most important thing.
And how you said a cup of coffee in the morning, is that your only cup of coffee for energy?
No. But I drink a lot of tea. But I have a coffee in the morning and then I'm usually tea all day. Maybe I have another coffee. I'm not that regimented about the food and drink thing.
Okay.
I like pretty much do what I want in that respect. But also I am a pretty clean eater. I'm very like protein focused, but if I want a hamburger, I'll have a hamburger. Like I'm just not that type of girl. I'm European and I eat a lot. Like I'll have the pasta, I'll have the thing. I'm lucky.
Totally agree with that way of eating.
No, but like I think
for
a
me
lot of people, like when I'm listening to you talk, I'm like, yeah, this sounds good. I like this. It's like a lot of energy. But some people, when they hear that, they're like, oh my God, this sounds overwhelming. It's too much. But I think if you're wired in that kind of way, this makes you happy. I always struggle with the meditation. People are like, you need to slow down and calm down. I'm like, I like being like high octane, go, not slow down. Like I don't like to be slow, like a little turtle.
But you can be both, because I think that I'm very much both. But I know what I need to recharge, right? And I feel like when you're someone like me, that all day people are taking, like I can't wait for someone to come and give something to me. I have to do that part for myself. So I'm not waiting for, like a gift of like some time or a gift of like someone being like, Emma, do you know what? Just sit down. It's like, no, I have to like find those moments in my day because it ain't coming otherwise.
Maybe your team is listening right now and they're going to start giving you little gifts throughout the day.
They're just making lists of more shit for me to do out there. That is what's happening right now.
Quick break to talk about one of my favorite partners, if not my now absolute favorite partner, because we have peaked and Dear Media officially has a house tequila and it is called Astral. So like I said, Astral Tequila is the official house tequila of Dear Media. Whether you're keeping it classic or shaking things up, there's no wrong way to enjoy an Astral margarita, especially when every sip supports Astral's mission to build homes in Jalisco, Mexico. Order it at the bar or serve it at home. Feel good about choosing Astral as your new house tequila. Astral is an affordable, great tasting tequila that mixes beautifully into just about any cocktail, especially a margarita. My personal favorite is the Reposado. When I'm out in the bars, when I'm drinking on the home, it's typically the Reposado, but you can't go wrong with the Blanco or the Añejo either. The Añejo is going to give you a little bit more flavor, and the Blanco is going to make a perfect margarita. My favorite margarita is taking 3 parts tequila, 1 part Cointreau, not triple sec, and then about 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. You can add maybe a little bit of simple syrup, but I think it's perfect the way I had it before. Add maybe a half salted rim and you have the perfect micromanaged Michael Bostic margarita. As soon as I discovered Astral, I was blown away. It's a newer brand and I had not seen it. Many of you may not be familiar with Astral Tequila. It's an emerging brand, but it is incredible. And it is now the official house tequila of Dear Media and of course this show. So check them out if you're looking for a perfect summer tequila. And if you're looking just for a perfect tequila in general, Astral has you covered. Housemark summer is here. Time to stock up. Go to www.astraltequila.com to find Astral near you. And don't forget the limes. Please enjoy responsibly. Astral Tequila, 40% alcohol per volume, Diageo, New York, New York. Shows like this and others have put a huge spotlight on mental health awareness, but there's still more to do. Mental health awareness is growing, but like I said, there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. Many people feel like if they're doing anything to help themselves mentally, if they're going to seek therapy, if they're going to talk to someone, that they're going to be then judged by their peers, their friends, their families. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It impacts families, workplaces, and entire communities. One thing that we've learned doing this show and talking to so many high performers for almost a decade now is that many of these people achieve such great success because they go and seek help. They get therapists, they talk out their problems, they work with people to work through any mental health issues that they're going through. So this Mental Health Awareness Month, let's encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and break the stigma. The world is better when people are healthy and happy. This is why Lauren and I have been longtime partners of BetterHelp. We could not be bigger fans of the platform. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialists right from the comfort of your own home, from your own digital device. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. You can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. It's so easy to use. So check them out and take that next step to work on your mental health and get it to where you want it to be. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/skinny to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/skinny.
I do not mess around when it comes to my sleep. I am so serious about my sleep. My room is pitch black. I have chimes going, only red light bulbs in my room. I have got my Kindle. I've got a red book light just in case. I sleep in this cloud set that's buttery. And I have a humidifier going. And I also don't mess around with the sheets. So Bull & Branch sent us these sheets. They're the signature sheets and they're made with the finest 100% organic cotton. So you can literally spend the night in a cloud. It's the softest feeling imaginable. These sheets are so popular because they're buttery, breathable, and they get softer with every wash. You know how sometimes you wash sheets and they don't feel as good as when you first get them? This is not the case with Bull and Branch, okay? These are best-selling sheets. People love them because they get so comfy with each wash. The sheets to me feel really crisp, but they're breathable. I'm run a little hot when I sleep. I like the room at 67 degrees, and so I need sheets that breathe. Sheets make such a big difference. You're spending 8 to 9 hours in your sheets. So if you're like me, you take it pretty seriously. Feel the difference an extraordinary night's sleep can make with Bull and Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bullandbranch.com/skinny. That's Bull and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/skinny. You save 15%. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
What are you reading? Last time you came with a really good book on the show.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
What was it? Oh, I know. No, I do know. Well,
Wait,
it was what to do. The Harvard.
What to do with an idea?
No, it wasn't. It
the
was
Harvard
5
book.
things that you don't learn at Harvard Business
That's
School.
exactly what it was.
No, what you don't live at what you don't learn at Harvard. What you don't learn at Harvard Business School.
I bought
that
it
was
on Thrift Books.
It's so
I highlighted
good.
it. Yeah,
it's
that's a great one.
so good.
You have to find like an old copy. It's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it not in circulation?
Well, when I bought it after you told me to buy it, that was
I'm
a great
so glad you bought it. It's a great book.
Yes.
I'm actually reading The Tools right now, Phil Stutz, which is like an amazing book. But I go between like psychology and business books. Like it's a long time since I've read like a novel.
The Tools is a great recommendation, though.
It's a great book.
Yeah, I have not read the whole book. I have it, and we interviewed Phil, and his mindset is really unique.
No, he's out of this world. I mean, he's like a very, very special person.
Do you make time for self-care, therapy, all these different things, or is that not even on your radar right now because you're working so much?
No, I make a lot of time for myself. Like, I'm inherently quite a selfish person, or I'm someone who like starts with themselves. Like that's how I'm wired, right? It's like, it's just where I'm at. And so therapy is something that's just been a part of my life since I was really young. And I go through stints, it's like I'll be doing therapy for 2 or 3 years and then I'll have a bit of time off and then I'll go back. It's just something that I do. I kind of strongly dislike the phrase self-care, but there's something about it that just feels like really frivolous to me. But it's like, do I have facials and get my nails done and have, the chiropractor and massages? Like I do all the things. Like I put those things in just as a matter of like self-preservation. I don't know if they're like self-care, but it's like I have to look after me. Like I expel a lot of energy. I need to put stuff back in.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that to be such a high performer as yourself, you have to focus on that.
Yeah, you do. And also because what I do is it's giving all the time, right? It's giving my ideas, it's giving my energy, it's like giving to my kids. So much of what I do is like energy out. So it's like there has to be some equation there that it comes back in. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not waiting for someone to come and gift that to me.
Well, how do you fit all the other things you're doing into your schedule? Shark Tank. I know that you're a chairwoman of the 15% pledge. I mean, there's a lot of other things that you're doing outside the business. How does that all work?
It just comes down to what is important to me, right? Because I think you find time in your life for the things that are most important. I also think that there is this great misconception about someone like me that because you're self-made, you're doing a lot of things by yourself. It's like, it's just not the truth. I rely on an army of people. Like I laughed because, last night I was putting a load of laundry on. I don't know when the last time is that I did laundry. And I don't want to be one of those people that, I don't want to be one of those people who you look at and there's this idea that she's doing it all. I am not. I do not cook dinner. I have a chef. I do not clean my house. I have a housekeeper. I have 2 nannies. I have 4 kids. I don't drive myself to work. I've set my life up in a way where I get a lot of help to do the things that I think are less important. Now, I'm just one of them mums that doesn't like anybody else cutting, their kids' nails or toenails. I am the person that cleans their ears. I'm the one who has to be around when they have haircuts. I like to figure out what my kids eat and wear, like every single meal and every single outfit. They're just the things that for me are really important. And I don't substitute time with my children out to someone else. But it's like everything else, I let somebody else take care of. And so I think it's just this great misconception that I'm out here like doing so much. It's like I have an army. I have an army at the office. I have an army at home, and I'm really fine with outsourcing things. Like I'm not one of those micromanagery people.
I had this debate with my mother. I'm going to put her on blast. And she was like, why do you have all this thing? And she's like, when I was this, I could, I did all,
Yeah.
And listen, I get
That's
it.
how I was raised. The same. My mum did everything.
The way that I think about it, I was like, listen, based on my output and my team, like, is my time better spent doing loads of laundry, which I'm terrible at, or cooking, which
You've never done a load of laundry.
And
By the way, neither have I. So I'm not trying to
the point is,
I have not either.
I mean, none of us are doing our
but
laundry, guys.
Well, it's our commodity's time.
People do this on a different scale too. Like, how many people order Postmates or Uber Eats or Instacart? Like, it's the same concept, different scales. But the way that I rationalize all of this is like, I could outsource and have some help here, which is actually going to enable me to go and create and generate a lot more output somewhere else, in which case, like, this actually becomes the cheaper option to me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
100. Like, it makes sense because it is just the truth.
It's the trade of the...
I've just got to the point in my life where I don't feel like I have to rationalize anything. It's like, it's just the truth.
Yep.
You can take it or leave it. You can like it or lump it. You can like it less or more. That's the reality of my life, and that's how I've set it up, and I'm totally fine with it. The thing is, I don't go around pretending that it's any other way. I'm not sitting here saying, I do it all. It's like, I definitely don't. And it's totally fine by me.
Yeah, to me, it's like, it's just a calculus of math. It's a trade-off. It's like, I'm willing to spend this to output this. Mm-hmm. It's the same way why you would take an Instacart or an Uber or go get your hair cut from someone else.
Yes.
Like, it's a trade.
And I think it's fine for you to say, I think what is harder is for women, there is this misconception about, can you be all of these things? Can you be like an amazing, ball buster of a businesswoman and still be a really good hands-on mum? And my point of view is, yes, absolutely you can do both things. But you got to have the trade-offs, and you've got to get comfortable with the trade-offs. And as a woman, we can torture ourselves for the trade-offs. It's like, if I'm not doing this, then am I really being a good mum? And my answer is always like, yeah, you have to figure out what are your non-negotiables. And I'm very clear about what those are.
It's a social pressure thing.
100%. It's like, I'm never, ever missing anything that's important to my children. Like, I am at every sports day. Thankfully, I don't have that sporty kids, but it's like there's not games every. So it's like, I'm just not doing it. Thank goodness for them. But it's like, if they're in a play, if they're reading something, if there's a reason to go to school, it's like, I am there with bells on. But if there's like a mum's coffee, if there's a school gala, it's like, I ain't going.
Are you going to the mum's coffee?
And I don't volunteer. I'm not there. I'm sorry.
You and I have the exact same mindset.
But also, like, and let's be honest about it. For some mums, that's important. And for some mums, they might want to go. The big difference is, and what I'm very comfortable in saying is, I don't want to go. So if I wanted to, and if it was important to me, I'd be there, I'd be volunteering, I'd be putting up the Halloween decorations. I don't care. And so that's what you got to get comfortable with. It's like, if it's really important to you to be there and you want to be that type of mum, be that type of mum. But if you don't care, have the balls to say, it's just not something that I think is important. And that has to be okay.
I am going to be honest. I've never had one of the other dads at the school say, Michael, you missed the Halloween decor day. They've never.
Doesn't it sound like you're talking to your wife?
Don't they say it to you?
This is how I talk to you. No, because when I was in my early 20s, I used to say to Michael, I'm not a sleepover girl. I'm not a bachelor party 3-day kind of girl. And I used to feel guilty about it. And that transcends into motherhood. It's like, I'm not that. That's not what I want to do. I don't care what you want to do.
Yes.
But I'm not going to justify who I am. I'm not a gala kind of gal.
And let's be honest.
It's not. Listen, I'll be at every play, like you said. I'll be at every sports game. I'll be at every show and tell. I'll come read to your
don't
class.
promise every sports game, because I know how
I
these
will
sports
do the
turn out, and if
sports
you
game.
have, it could be cumbersome.
I'm relishing not having sporty kids
But
right
let's
now.
be
I know my
honest.
twins are about to go real sporty.
If Lauren came to me and said, you know what, Michael, I'm going to start cooking 5 days a week, I would be so alarmed. I would be like, let's please not go down that road.
I made a mean sandwich.
You could
Tell everyone about the
cooking,
sandwich.
Lauren. A sandwich is
I think it is.
It's hard. It's not cooking, girl.
The sandwich is
It's an assembly.
The trick to a sandwich is pepperoncinis. Is
The
that how you
last
say
time
it?
What is
she-
pepperoncini?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
The-
I don't even know if
Banana
you want a
peppers.
sandwich.
Honestly, I'd be like that guy sneaking off and like hiding in the closet eating like Postmates. If
Pretending.
That's
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
other things.
One time she
He's
cooked.
fine.
Clearly.
No,
I'm not
the-
worried about
good.
him
He's good.
at all.
The last time you cooked for me, you didn't cook the turkey all the way through, and I was on the
Oh,
toilet
don't
for
be
a
such
week.
a baby.
You can't eat. You
That's
can't
like
eat.
salmonella.
You can't
She's
eat all-
like, shake it off. That food poisoning.
I'm literally-
Manila.
I had been
wrong with you?
poisoned. I was going to die.
You,
She's
it
like,
was
pull
before
it
spring
together.
break. You could use lose 5
It's a little
pounds.
food poisoning between a husband and
I
wife.
know.
Little
Come on.
stomach who
What?
never heard a flea.
I know what and who I married, and it's not the home chef. It's just not. And
Fair
that's
enough.
that's good.
You
but
know
there's
what
other
you
things.
get.
I don't want that though.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think that that's important to have the self-awareness to be able to know where you want to spend your time. Time, in my opinion, is it's, as we all agree, it's the best commodity you have. And if you use it right, I think that it's a very efficient way to become more successful and do more of what you want to do.
Yes.
There are a lot of influencers online, as you know, that pretend that they have no nanny or night nurse or whatever it is. And I think if people would just be honest, it would take the air out of the conversation.
I'm like, who else wants a job?
And that's just the problem.
I'm just kidding.
I've never lied about that type of thing.
I think that's great.
I
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't understand who it's serving because it's actually just making people feel worse about what it
100%.
is that they
It
do.
is a double
So,
standard, though. I have never, ever been asked by any of my male friends about
How'd you
help I have with my
balance it?
children or, any of that stuff. It's just never been brought up, and I have seen it been brought up with her multiple times with a little bit of like a derogatory
I don't care though. I don't care.
You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit
It
of
is
like,
what it
oh,
is.
you do, you know
I
what I
have
mean?
a community of help, and that's how I'm able to do what I love to do.
All right.
How do you work so seamlessly with your husband? Give us the secret.
Do you?
Am I allowed to like just turn the mic right now? But like, this is what we should be asking you to. Yes, we do work so seamlessly together. There's two parts to this. I feel like I've said this a lot of times, but there is part of it is that we had a working relationship before we had our relationship as husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend. So that was a massive part of it in the beginning. We had defined roles of who does what. The next thing is that we do not do the same thing. Even in the businesses, we do something very different. What Jens's skills are the total opposite of mine. And I think that as much as people think we work together, we actually don't share that many projects. He does what he does and I do what I do, and we trust each other implicitly to get those things done. And so I think that is the reason that it works. We're not really encroaching. It's not like I'm not offering my opinion because I have an opinion about everything, and as does he. But we let each other do and run with what it is that we're really good at. So there's just a trust level there that.
How do you guys, because Michael and I always say this, we bring work into the bedroom, into the dinners. We love it. We love to talk about it. It's not our whole ether, but we like to talk about it. Do you guys separate it, or is
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
There's no way. But again, it does come down to the fact that we love what we do.
Right.
It's like a sport, like a hobby. We're like, oh my God, did you just see what they did over there? And can you believe that this went that well? Or it's like we love it. We love it so much. And so I don't feel like it becomes a drag. Now, that's not to say that there will be times when things get heated or we have a disagreement and I'm like, I would rather not do this at 11 p.m. or at 5 a.m. when we wake up. It's like, can you just not do that? But I think we just have a way of speaking to each other. And my husband's Swedish. Swedes are like very direct. They don't mince their words. They just say it. And so it's kind of like created this resiliency in me and this capacity for criticism.
Are you
that
Swedish?
I just have all the
Gotta
time.
go down to my ancestral tree.
Must be Swedish. You can see with those blonde locks over there. But I welcome it because in a way, I think that has made me, having someone that's close to me that I know only has my best interests at heart, be the person that criticizes me, what I'm doing, kind of like you get, things are drawn to my attention before they might become problems otherwise. And again, I know that he would be telling me something as hey, you probably want to watch this because it could become an issue, or I noticed X, Y, and Z. And so you get that little like, okay, like I can hear that from you before I'm going to hear it from someone else. That's all right. Okay.
That's just a very similar
Record that part
dynamic.
of the thing and then
Yeah,
replay it.
I have a tip. I put on mouth tape at a certain time, which means the show's over.
Oh,
The show is
but
over.
Literal mouth
I
tape?
put on mouth tape at night to go to
Oh.
sleep. And so that
That's
means
sexy.
he can't talk or do anything.
Because he can't get an answer
It's so
back.
it's so weird. She's like acting like this has been a huge punishment for me. I'm like, yeah, it's terrible.
You're like, put a mouth tape on a bit
not
earlier.
true. He might, no,
It's
no. He
absolutely
loves
terrible.
to talk.
It's a signal without you having to say anything. I get it.
We recently had a very famous doctor on the podcast who talked all about fasting and cleansing. And he basically broke down what the best one to do is. And of course, Prolong came up. So Prolong I have done 3 times. I have done it all before I went to Cabo. So I could feel good. And it's something that I'll do probably like, I don't know, 6 months after I have the baby, just to like get a kickstart. But it's super interesting because Prolong is a plant-based nutrition program that features soups, snacks, and beverages that are designed to nourish the body while keeping you in a fasting state. Now, what's interesting about a fasting state is it triggers cellular rejuvenation and renewal. So the doctor came on and explained how being in a 5-day fasting mimicking diet is proven to deliver real results through deep cellular rejuvenation. So you get all of these benefits. I found this nutrition program to be really easy when I did it, and I felt so great when I went down to Cabo. To help you jumpstart a plan that delivers real results, Prolong is offering the Him and Her Show listeners an exclusive chance to be among the first to try Next Gen. You get 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/skinny. That's PROLONLIFE.com/skinny to claim 15% off and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/skinny.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I am certain that the majority of people are not getting nearly enough protein or collagen in their diets and throughout the day. This is because our diets have changed. We're largely eating foods that aren't so great for us. This is why Lauren and I could not be bigger fans of Kettle and Fire. Kettle and Fire is the cleanest bone broth. It is one of the best ways that you can get extra protein and collagen. Extra protein and collagen are going to help from everything building muscle, taking care of your skin, your health, your nails, your overall mental and physical health. These are so important to get into your body and into your system every single day. Kettle and Fire's bone broth tastes amazing as well. Sometimes you have these bone broths and they taste a little bit gamey. They don't taste so good. It's hard to get down. Not with Kettle and Fire. Each serving tastes incredible. Kettle and Fire uses only grass-fed and finished beef bones. There's a huge difference, if you're a listener of this show, between just grass-fed and grass-fed and finished. And Kettle and Fire uses the highest quality grass-fed and finished beef bones. And like I said at the beginning of this spot, Kettle and Fire has 19 grams of protein per serving. So if you're struggling to get the proper protein throughout the day, this is a great way to get that little extra in. You can take it in the morning when you're starting your day before the gym. You can do it before bed, and you just drink this stuff down. It's really easy to use. You can also make a soup out of it. There's so many ways to get this extra serving of protein and collagen into your body. I personally love starting my day with the bone broth, especially because of the protein boost I get. I take it before I go to the gym and feel great throughout the entire workout. So check them out. You can find Kettle and Fire in almost every grocery store nationwide. I remember when they were just in Whole Foods. Now they are everywhere, Walmart, Target, pretty much anywhere you can buy food. But if you want the hookup, you can save 20% off if you go to kettleandfire.com/skinny. Again, that's kettleandfire.com/skinny. Quick break to talk about nowadays. So many people these days are looking for an alternative to alcohol. This is why Lauren and I are so excited to talk about Nowadays. Founded in 2023, Nowadays was created to put a new spin on drinking. The brand was born from the desire to change the future of how we consume beverages, offering an easy entry point to cannabis that can be enjoyed just like alcohol. So this is obviously not an alcohol drink. Nowadays is a cannabis-infused beverage brand designed to deliver a light, buzzy experience without the hangover. I need another hangover like I need a kick in the head, so this is a great alternative. Nowadays, cannabis-infused spirits are the perfect base for your favorite cocktail and come in 750 milliliter bottles in 3 variants: microdose, which is 2 milligrams, low dose, which is 5 milligrams, and high dose, which is 10 milligrams, all with a crisp and light citrus flavor. Additionally, Nowadays has launched its THC canned cocktails. These are 12 ounce and 16 ounce ready to drink beverages. They come in 4 refreshing flavors: tropical, spicy lime, citrus, and berry. And each 12 ounce can contains only 4 grams of sugar. What I love about this is you can expect a gentle lift within the first 10 to 20 minutes, followed by a social buzz in the next 20 to 40 minutes, and a smooth transition or subtle decline in your buzz by about 45 to 60 minutes. So unlike alcohol, you can kind of time this a little bit better, know what you're getting in for. And Nowadays ensures a consistent onset offset time with rigorously tested quality. Of course, the THC is responsibly sourced and every product is proudly made in the USA for a controllable and enjoyable experience. Nowadays is easy to purchase with direct-to-door delivery. Must be 21 to order at www.trynowadays.com or visit trynowadays.com and use code SKINNY at checkout for 20% off your first purchase. That's trynowadays.com. Use code SKINNY for 20% off your first order. Hey everybody, before we get into the show, for those of you that are in Los Angeles, traveling to Los Angeles, or looking to travel to Los Angeles, join the Dear Media team and host on May 17th in Los Angeles for the Dear Media Edit, a live wellness experience, a day of curated conversations and immersive experiences with your favorite Dear Media hosts and leading voices in health and wellness. Explore what it means to truly feel good inside and out. Tickets are on sale now at dearmedia.com/events. We'll put it in the show notes. We do these events regularly. We've done our IRL events. They're always incredible. People always have a great time. So if you're in the LA area or getting ready to travel there on May 17th, check them out. Again, that's dearmedia.com/events.
How do you take a concept and make it such a reality and such a huge reality on digital? So meaning, like, how do you take the SKIMS store? Say you guys have this idea to do a store in LA, which you guys have just launched. What does the process look like? And what are the systems to get there?
And what do you mean exactly? Like when you mean about opening a store specifically or having an idea?
I'll give you an example. The concept of maybe the 3D body that you guys did in New York City, or if you do like an AI campaign, like what does it look like to get there? You have the idea, but then what do you do to implement? Is it a bunch of delegation? Are you involved in the creative? What does it look like?
So what I do at SKIMS specifically is really based around product. And I think that what we have between Jens and Kim, you don't get a better marketing function than those two brains going at it. They are genius marketeers. And so I always feel like I can sit down and people will be like, oh my God, I can't believe that thing you just did with, White Lotus, and I'm like, oh, I can't take credit for it because I have absolutely nothing to do with that. My role at SKIMS is as Chief Product Officer. So I oversee design, creative, production, merchandising, and planning. And so it really is, Kim has an idea about a product. She's like, I would like to have a bra with a nipple on it. I go and get the bra with the nipple on it made and working and fitting correctly. Like that is my job, is to take what she has in her mind and make it a reality. And I do that with a giant team of people. And again, I know it might sound really wet to you guys, but I hate this idea that there's like one person or one genius. It's like our genius is bringing a bunch of people together that are excellent and super passionate about what they do. And I think that my own kind of superpower, if you will, is, the ability to like really care and double down and take seriously what it is that I'm doing. My ability to learn and get better at what I'm doing. And then the ability to disregard what anybody else thinks about what I'm doing.
That's an important one. That's important.
No, and they're all important together, because if you can't double down and really think about and be thoughtful about what you're doing, and then you can't get better at it, because I'm not the same. When I spoke to you guys, I don't know, was it 4 or 5 years ago? I'm a different person. Sure. Because I have trained myself, I've learned what I didn't know, I have got better, and I've grown with what it is that I'm doing. But that ability to learn and to continuously get better and to test and to fail and to get back up and be resilient, that's what I'm really good at. It's not like I happen to be like some genius. It's like that is not it. What I'm good at is like taking whatever it is and treating it like it's the most important thing in the world, doubling down on it, getting much better, and drowning out all the noise.
So when you said merchandising, does that mean that you're merchandising the store in Los Angeles?
Yeah. So my job is really to put the range together. So that's really what we're looking at. It's like, what is the composition of the assortment between, denim long bottoms and denim shorts and shirts and T-shirts. And then it's like taking bets. You have to have like a little bit of a gamble in nature to say, all right, because we're creating hundreds and hundreds of thousands of units of something. So if you're making a jean for Dolly Parton with a Western detail, you better believe that you're going to sell a lot of that because you're placing bets on the merchandise assortment. So my job is to put that together and to make sure that the overall collection of what I'm putting out there is going to be commercial and compelling, and it's going to sell mostly at full price, and it's going to be something that we can be proud of.
I think one of the genius things about the brand is that you do have this juxtaposition with who you have wearing the clothes. So you guys will be so creative with the people that you bring in, which makes the brand bigger than anyone, right? It's making the brand and the company the main thing, as opposed to maybe a founder or a co-founder. It's like, it's bigger than everyone. It's the world.
What we're collectively all obsessed with is the product, because at the end of the day, you can drive customers to purchase once, you can drive customers to be excited about a campaign once, but unless you deliver best-in-class products, they're not going to come back and repeat and repeat and repeat. So our obsession is to create the best product at the best price and to give the best value to customers. And that's all it can be about at the end of the day. Everything else is just window dressing. Everything else is icing on the cake. At the end of the day, you've got to get whatever it is that the customer takes home and the customer is wearing. Like, you're obsessed with that T-shirt. You've mentioned it twice already, right?
No, I love it.
But you love it. And then you went back and you bought a bunch more of it.
All colors.
Yeah.
Can
And
you
that
make more
wasn't.
colors?
Do you need more colors?
Yes.
I make such color multipliers. See, as a good merchant, you have to learn not to put too many colors in things.
Can we get a hunter green?
Why don't I just get you some?
I think I bought them all. I swear to God, it said low stock, and I was like, give me 5. I mean,
Give me all of them.
It's not easy finding a hot T-shirt for,
It is not.
this
And
pregnant.
listen, we need things at every stage of our life. So
I'm going to do some rapid fire questions.
gorge, love that.
And I'm adding the first one myself.
Oh,
Your best beauty tip.
it just has to be eyebrows. If I'm without like a good eyebrow and a good eyebrow pencil, like, forget the rest of it.
Okay, you have beautiful eyebrows.
Oh, thank
The
you.
eyebrows. I got to get you
cut
some
them all
brow
away as a
peptide.
kid.
Not that you need it.
Oh no, but I do need brow. I need it for the lash, not
Okay.
the brow.
It's great. Most empowering habit you've adopted in the last 5 years.
Honestly, the ability to tune out opinions of everybody else.
That's a great one. This one, I feel like I already know the answer, but maybe it's changed. Favorite book that's changed the way you think about business.
Okay, so I'll give you a new one.
Yeah.
Because we had the first one, which still stands.
Still up there.
It's still completely up there, what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. But I actually love anything Jim Collins writes, but Good to Great is just so good.
That's a great
And
book.
it's like lesson after lesson after lesson. It's such a good one.
Great one. I've never read it, but I have it on my list.
It is
I
good.
can just tell
But you know
right
what?
now.
I
It's a
think
great one.
But that book, I read it before, like when I was real young, and then I think it's more applicable once you're in it a bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that you're right about that. It's like, it's a great book for someone who's in a business. But you know what I do with, like, I reread things and then they mean something totally different
Right.
to you. Like what you read when you were 28, 29, 30 to like now when I'm 42. I'm like, did
different.
I actually even read this book? I'm like, what is happening? Yeah.
You got to get the highlighter out and just, you can
True.
highlight where you are
True.
at every different phase. If you could only wear one piece of Skims clothing, what are you wearing?
Oh, I'm so boring. I'm wearing a Fits Everybody triangle bra.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The
I thought you were going to
best.
say a T-shirt, a bra.
No, the bra, that bra is like heaven.
With the nipples or without?
No, it doesn't have the nipples. It's just like the most beautiful fabric and it's the most beautiful, like, clean shape. It's the best bra in the world.
I wore the nipple bra out.
It's insane.
Michael was like looking at
It's
me.
very distracting.
And then one time, I don't think I've told this story on the podcast. I decided to wear the butt shaper.
Oh, it's good.
And
Our butt shaper?
I think it was your
Yes,
butt shaper.
I'm so glad. It's fantastic.
Okay, and I wore it out.
Yeah, but
and
I see
Michael
the butt
goes,
for a long time. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
You're like, what are you doing?
fake nipples and a fake ass.
But it's like I could, like if I didn't know her since we were 12. Listen, I'm very intimately familiar with that butt, and I was like, there's something off here. I'm like, this is not right.
He knew immediately.
Listen, she's just trying to keep it fresh for you.
If you stuck your dick, I would not say that. I would let you go with the
Spider-Man
stuffing.
can sense danger, and I can sense like if her ass changes at all. I'm like,
I think
what
you should be so happy that you have a wife who's just trying to keep it interesting. Okay?
But she definitely does that. One time she made me do Sexy Stranger. Have you ever done that?
What is Sexy Stranger?
You guys got to do it.
What is that? Oh, are you like dressing up in a bar?
She's like, I want to do this ridiculous thing where we dress up. I'm like, okay, great. And I have to like get into character.
Have some fun.
And then you go and like you meet somebody, but it's the best time to do is like maybe you go like a hotel bar or like a place where you actually like pick up a girl.
Yes.
But she scheduled dinner at Giorgio Baldi.
Which is like super
And
intimate,
we were
wrong
mashed in there with everyone. And she was dressed like a full
No.
escort. And I was in like a ridiculous thing with a mustache and we're like sitting next to people.
I didn't have this nipple bra or the butt shaper at that moment, but I would have worn it if I had it.
But it made no sense because like Sexy Stranger's like, hey, I pick you up at a bar. Maybe we go to a hotel.
But you're just having dinner together in your local.
And you've been there and it's like a local restaurant. I'm like, hey, Tom.
You didn't like the black wig?
Do it again, guys. Do it again.
Okay. All right. Okay, we might do it again.
One thing you've learned about yourself from being an entrepreneur.
I'm really resilient, quite naturally.
Who's your biggest inspiration?
It's Oprah. It's just Oprah.
You said that like you're disappointed.
Yeah, and do you know why I'm and I tell you why, because again, it just feels like a bit of a cop-out. But let me explain why it's Oprah. I think there are so few people that manage to create a business, create a brand, create a world, have actual real impact and still remain true to themselves. And I think Oprah is all of those things.
Yeah.
She's done the commercial money part. She has really helped move the way people think forward. Like nobody was talking about gratitude and mindfulness like when she was, right? She made those ideas extremely mainstream. And she's just done things that are like, she's like a one of one. Like we didn't have all of these like book clubs before like Oprah's book club became a thing. So I feel like she's like in a lane of her own and she's completely true to herself and she's done something bigger than herself and she made a load of money.
And
like,
she's brought other people up too and made stars
what
of
is
them.
not to like about that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things about her is she's brought other people up with her. She's
that's a
helped
sign of
other
a
people.
that's a sign of a true leader.
Yeah.
Because nobody gets anywhere on their own. And if you are not bringing people with you, I would go as far to say as there's a problem. Like if you're really successful and there's not a bunch of people behind you that are equally like becoming really successful, you have a problem.
What's your favorite way to unwind?
With a glass of wine.
What kind of wine?
Red. I'm like a Barolo, Barbaresco, like Italian red girl.
Same.
Yeah,
Like
love.
a Brunello.
Yeah, like just love. Love, love, love.
That's the hardest thing about pregnancy is I just want a margarita.
Oh, yeah. And in America, you don't drink at all when you're pregnant,
No,
right?
my doctor said I
She
can
must
have
not be
a glass
American.
of wine. I don't think I'm American. My doctor said I can have a glass of wine a week. That's what she said.
A glass of wine a week.
Yeah.
And see, I had a really liberal doctor that was like, listen, if what it takes for you to be less stressed is a glass of wine every other day, I would rather you have the glass of wine than be stressed.
So she let you drink every other day a glass of wine?
It was he. And I don't think I did a glass of wine every other day, but I was definitely more liberal with my drinking than perhaps you might otherwise be.
I think that there's something to, I was talking about this off air earlier where you're really intuitive because you obviously are growing a human and you almost can feel what works for you and what doesn't.
Like there's nothing that compels you to get drunk while you're having a baby. But a little glass of red, like the way I sip, I'm not like a guzzler. Like I'm not that type of girl. But a little sip, and I do equate, you asked me like my favorite way to unwind. For me, it's like even just the glass being there. I don't even need to drink it. I feel like the temperature comes down
Sometimes I go like this to it.
Yeah, just that. Just that. Totally understand that.
Okay.
I've been known to sniff a glass of wine of somebody else. I'm like, I'm not drinking tonight.
Everything smells to me, the Christmas tree and the Uber, too much cologne, anything smells, but not a glass of wine.
Not a glass of wine. Good girl.
Where can everyone find you, support what you're doing? Tell us about Shark Tank, like everything you're working on. You're launching a podcast.
I am.
Okay. You need to talk to Michael, too.
I'm going to go cry after this if I haven't talked to you yet.
Yeah,
But go on,
it's so
go on,
funny. I
go
didn't
on.
see this till just now. I was going to tell you after you need to launch a podcast.
That is so nice of you to say. Do you know what? not something that I've been thinking about for the longest time. And I'm usually like way more considered. I think what happened is the more successful I got, the more people would ask me questions.
Yeah.
And there's only so many, like my instinct is always to help people. If I come off the stage at a conference or if somebody DMs me, I want to get on the phone and help them. And so I started to think about like, how do you scale mentorship? I can't be everybody's mentor. How do you do something in a way that can reach more people? And then what happens is like, I just have like unbelievable access. Like I have a lot of people that I phone, that I can get on the phone, that I do business with, that help me every day. And I just thought, why not make that something that I do in a more professional capacity? How do I help all these women that, you know, DM me all the time? How do I just be more useful? And I do think that my journey is like, you know, if you leave school at 16 and you're really dyslexic and you start doing companies and you make a lot of mistakes and you learn a bunch of things and then you have some success, like that's information that you can share. And so my point of view is like, I want to use this podcast platform, Aspire with Emma Grede, because it really is about like, what do I aspire to and who are the people I aspire to and what messages can I get out there and how can I share that? And so that's what I'm interested in doing right now. I'm doing something that's less about like creating a brand or a consumer experience and more about like sharing the things that I know.
What's interesting about you to me, though, is when I was like, she should start a podcast. Yes, of course, you have an amazing Rolodex of people, but I also just think people will be really interested to hear you on a mic.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Not everyone could do like solo episodes. I also see a lot of solos for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, if
Let's go.
Listening to you, like, yes, I think you have an amazing Rolodex and I'd love to hear you interview, but I would like to see episodes with just you.
Well, you ask, I shall deliver.
No, you're really good. You're going on a mic. I was going to tell you off air. I'm like, why don't you have a podcast? Oh, because you have 6,000 other things you're doing.
There you go. I actually built the studio in my office just to like, because I know that's where you're going next.
Of course,
you're
it's
like,
on the fourth floor.
I just put it in the office. I was like, here's a cupboard. Like, this is where we're going to do it.
Whatever works, as long as it sounds good. Aspire with Emma.
Aspire with Emma Grede.
It's launching May 6th. Where can everyone shop all the brands and say hi to you?
Oh, well, I mean, you can come and, you know, say hi to me in Instagram land, I guess. That's like where I actually exist. But, you know, the brands are everywhere. Like we're in every major retailer. We've started to open a lot of stores, which is really fun because, you know, I'm from the shop floor. And so I enjoy that like in real life retail experience. And of course on the .com. So goodamerican.com, skims.com.
Thank you.
Thank you, my darling.
Thank you. Come back
my
again
dear.
soon.